You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. This is Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Hey, welcome to the big show for my friends and family. We certainly appreciate you guys tuning in. The Chris Voss Show, the family that loves you but doesn't judge you. At least not as harshly as your mother-in-law. Now go clean your room. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. You can go to youtube.com/Chris Voss. Follow the show on LinkedIn, the big LinkedIn newsletter, the big LinkedIn 130,000 group over there, and also goodreads.com/Chris Voss. Today, we have an amazing entrepreneur on the show. He's going to be talking about this company. His company is called Simply Noted. He is the founder and CEO of the company, which is an entrepreneurial sales and marketing company. And he developed a proprietary technology that puts real pen and ink to paper to scale handwritten communication, kind of a lost art, a dead art, if you will, but he's bringing it back so that we can bring that personality back to our communications. And thank you, people. And who knew? I got to tell you, when people send me handwritten notes, I actually keep them. We know what else gets thrown away. I have a pile in my thing, and we often thought that we need to be doing more of that ourselves. With his company to scale handwritten communication, he helps businesses of all industries scale this unique marketing platform to stand out from their competition and build meaningful relationships with clients, customers, and employees. Founded in 2018 and based in Tempe, Arizona, Simply Noted has grown into a thriving company with clients of various sizes across the country, including hospitality, real estate, insurance, nonprofit, franchise, B2B, and others. He served as the company's CEO since its founding for more than 4 years and has been over a decade of sales and marketing industry experience behind him. Welcome to the show, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Thanks for coming. It's great to have you as well. Give us the .coms wherever you want people to find you on the interwebs.
Yeah, I mean, they can just go to our website, simplynoted.com. It's just how it's spelled, S as in Sam, I, M as in Mary, P-L-Y, noted.com. Or just go to LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn basically all day. It's my number one social platform tool. And just look for Rick Elmore. I do a pretty good job at getting back to people who reach out within an hour or so.
There you go. So give us a little bit of history on you. How did you grow up? What was your background? What got you interested in being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, I kind of grew up in a middle-class family, had two very loving, supporting parents that were small business entrepreneurs, more like 1099 contractors. My mom was a medical biller. My stepdad, also my football coach for 12 years. He was a contractor, so we grew up, being his muscle, making some money on the weekends, hiking things up and down the ladder. But grew up as an athlete. I was extremely competitive my entire life, kind of quiet, more reserved, but always kind of had an inner fire, highly competitive, always wanted to be better. I don't know why. It just kind of was the way it was. My parents aren't at all super competitive. They've always been kind of allowed us to be in the spotlight. It was really nice to have parents like that. But yeah, grew up athlete, went to University of Arizona on a full ride scholarship with my twin brother. Had a pretty good career there. I was a 3-year starter for Mike Stoops and Mark Stoops, pretty good football-minded defensive gurus back in the day. Had a really good junior and senior year, led the Pac-10 back then in multiple stat categories, tackles for lost sacks, pretty important stats for my position. And then was drafted into the NFL in 2011 to the Green Bay Packers. Yep, got to live out my childhood dream, played in the NFL for 3 years. But eventually, you have to hang up the shoulder pads and cleats, and that's what I did. And was kind of lost for a little bit, like a lot of athletes. That transition to life after sport's pretty tough because it's just so different. And I could talk for 5 hours about why it's so different, but did with what a lot of guys did, got into competitive corporate sales, offered a lot of the same things, highly competitive, highly rewarding. It was challenging. It was, it was it was a good career. But after getting more success there, my first year in corporate sales, I was rookie of the year. Basically just took everything I was good at as an athlete, hard work, passion, desire, perseverance, strength, grit, get knocked down 8 times, get up 9 times. And then, the next 5 years, it's either top 1% or top 5 rep in my company, but just had like an itch I couldn't scratch. So I went back and did my MBA in 2017. And that's where the idea for my current business started. About a year into my program, I was in a marketing class and I had a professor going over all the success rates in marketing. And everything was super nominal, like super unimpressive, email, cold call, direct mail. All these digital forms were like single digit success rates. And he ends the lecture about 3 hours into this lecture. My brain is just like, numb from all these stats he's giving us. And he says the most important thing I probably heard in my professional career, the light bulb moment was, hey guys, what still works better than ever is a good old fashioned handwritten note. It probably works better than ever because, we live in a digital world. It has a 99% open rate. It's rare. People appreciate it. So he basically was like, trying to tell us to be better people and focus on relationships and get more personal. So I thought that was a great idea. And I mean, there's a lot more that came after that. And I know this is kind of a long introduction, but there's been a lot of pieces to this puzzle. But fast forward 5 years, we have 11 full-time employees. We've developed the world's best and only purposely built handwriting robot. We've invested over $800,000 into this thing.
Holy
has 6
crap.
pending patents. Yeah, 6 pending patents. We had 380,000 users on our platform last month. We're completely customer funded, no loan, no debt, no investors. So the journey's been wild, but it's been fun to say the least.
There you go. What's it like starting a company and going through that? I mean, you're used to working technically for other people in the NFL and, sports. And I imagine some of the competitive nature that you had came from sports and being an athlete.
Yeah, I think you're kind of born with something inside you that makes you want to be an entrepreneur. I was really comfortable in my corporate world. I was making really good money. I was good at what I was doing. It was really easy to stand out because 90% of people didn't really even try that hard. So those 10% of the people that actually try and care and constantly want to get better, it's easy for them to rise to the top. And I've always prided myself on somebody, off this saying, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I'm willing to work really hard to get, or, to earn what I want to earn. So, it was a little bit of a shock, going from being a W-2 employee to being responsible for W-2 employees. Because when you're a sales rep, right, your one problem is basically to manage the relationship with the client. When you're an entrepreneur, every problem is your problem, right? Is that, could that not be more true?
Yeah. I used to tell people, I used to tell people I'm the CEO and the janitor.
Yeah, seriously. Like we clean our own office still. So
yeah, I would walk around my office and pick stuff up off the floor, mainly because I'm like, I don't want someone to trip over that or fall because then I get sued. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm the only one who picks up stuff around here, other than the janitors that come at night. It was always funny. People would be like, "What do you do?" I'm the CEO and janitor.
Yeah. Well, I think, being an entrepreneur is an incredible opportunity because the amount of personal, professional growth that you get from being an entrepreneur is unlike anything else you'll ever have in the world. I always tell anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur, if you can do it because you'll jam 40 or 50 years of corporate experience into 5 years of being an entrepreneur because of just all the self-development that you have to do. You have to learn sales, marketing, building websites, SEO, follow-up product development, taxes, like everything. I mean, everything about a company, when you're an entrepreneur, you have to start it out. I mean, as your business grows, you can delegate it, but you're responsible for everything in those first few years.
There you go. And we've talked about how we've had authors on the podcast that have talked about how important a personal touch is, how important it is to delve into your current clients and ask for referrals from them as opposed to just trying to get new clients, because the cost of getting new clients is usually vastly more expensive than getting referrals from your current base. So how does your service help people? Give us a kind of a rundown overview of what it does.
Yeah, so those stats you just said are extremely powerful, and we talk about that all the time in our business. It costs 5 times more to acquire a new client than just upsell a current client or a happy client. 80% of your clients don't feel appreciated. So that's, 8 out of 10 of your clients don't feel like they have a good relationship with your brand. Of those 80% of those unappreciated clients, 50% of them will just try a new business or a new product just because, not for any other reason besides they don't feel committed to you. So what Simply Noted is we try to integrate, automate, and scale your relationship and brand loyalty by sending genuine, personalized, handwritten notes. And the way that we do that is with software or just simple spreadsheets. So we can use, either our website, a Zapier integration, an API integration. We basically work with any, software that's open in 2023. We can figure out a way to set up a trigger to send a handwritten note. But what we're trying to do is just, make new, what was old is make it new again. But we're just trying to add a 2023, technology twist to it with a robot. So, at the core of our business, we're a relationship building business, but we do also have a lot of people who send handwritten notes for business development because the open rate is so high. It's a 99% open rate. Nobody's competing this way. Everyone's doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, DMing, text messaging, knocking on a door, cold calling, right? So it's really hard to stand out nowadays. So we just really believe, we're a few years ahead of this. We think there's going to be a massive resurgence for, tangible personal mail. The further we move into the digital and AI revolution. And we're just excited to be a part of it because we really do believe, the personal touch and relationships matter most in business.
They really do. And like I say, I have handwritten notes sent to me. The PR companies will send one. I think I seen one recently. In fact, I have one here. This is from LoomCube. And so anyone's like,
nice.
Chris really doesn't save cards that are written. Yeah, they've written a personal note here. Hi, Chris. Hope that you love your curated press package. And their name and the company. So I save these. Like I really do. Yeah. I feel kind of guilty when I throw them away. Like I really feel guilty. Like somebody, and I think the novelty, if you want to call it that, the uniqueness of it, because it's kind of like when I call people and do sales now. If I get on the phone with people, they're like, "You really get on the phone with me?" It's so weird. But it used to be in my day when you were a salesman. And probably in your day too, when you sold, when you're doing phone sales or when you're doing, I would have to drop by offices and get past that, what we call the gatekeeper, the secretary for the buyer agent, for whatever the company was. And trying to get through her was a nightmare. And, the guy's like, come on, Chris, I got like 100 of you guys calling me a day and driving me up a wall, and now when you call people, they're like, oh, we can have a conversation. This is really unique. No one does this anymore. Yeah. So I think that's one of the great, unique aspects of the handwritten thing. And what I understand is about yours, you've got 6 patents. And this is really a handwritten pen that writes this. This isn't like just a print that looks like it's written in autographing. Right? Absolutely.
So we spent about 3 years developing our handwriting robot. We just got done a few months ago. There's just so many iterations that went into it. We have 6 patents pending, so 3 designed, 3 utility. We're the only company in the world that's actually built their own handwriting robot. There's obviously a competition in everything that you do, right? There's Apple, Samsung, Ford, Chevy, right? We're just the only company who's actually built their own handwriting robot. Some other companies just use old technology like an AxiDraw pen plotter. And to the average person, they may not know, why that's not a good option for them. But, for the big companies where they need to have the best handwriting quality, the best, quality, writing possible, that's why we built our handwriting robot, because we can control everything about it. But like you just said, given the example of, standing out and starting off on the right foot, when you send a handwritten note to those people, you're automatically doing something different, which sets you apart. So when you do reach out again, right after you do set yourself apart in the beginning, they're more willing to talk to you. So it breaks down that wall and makes it a little bit easier to get over, especially if you're in phone sales. Like I was in medical sales, and a lot of it was face-to-face. So usually you can win on like your personality, having a good conversation. But when you're on the phone, it's really hard, to develop that rapport, because you can feel energies, right? When you're with somebody, you can feel the authenticity. You can feel if they're comfortable, not comfortable. And it's really hard to do that over the phone or through a screen. So when you do send a handwritten note, that impacts them, right? So that is an energy sharing, impactful, important, thing that no one else is doing. But when you do reach out, you're automatically starting on a different foot than anybody else. So, yeah, I mean, I always say we drink our own champagne over here. We use our own product all the time, for marketing and relationship building, because it works. Handwritten notes work. And if there's tons of studies out there that just talk to you about the effectiveness of open rates and how relationships matter, and we're just trying to make it easy to do that.
There you go. I mean, we've gotten handwritten notes sent to us for the show. Thanks for having us on the show. We get them from PR agencies. It just makes all the difference. But you guys really help scale it so that if a company's, it's kind of easy for a couple of these PR agencies, because there might be 5 people working there. It's easy for them to run out a note to me. But you guys really help it go to scale where companies can send anywhere from a small amount of notes to a large amount of notes, and they can buy like a whole pack of them. Talk to us a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, so where we really thrive is in the relationship building industries, because if you think about it, like if you don't have a client, you don't have a job, right? So it's like really easy to explain. Like if your client doesn't pay their bill, like your business will fail. So like the insurance, real estate, mortgage, political, nonprofit, right, where relationships truly matter. That's where we thrive. And they have, hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of people that are involved, on that journey with them. And it's really important for them to, keep them happy so that customer attrition doesn't, constantly, go down every single year. Because the worst thing about building a business is trying to keep a leaky bucket filled, right? Imagine just sitting there nonstop, right? You have 100 clients, but you lose 50 every year to bring on 50 more. Like that is a nightmare. So we just operate really well in those spaces where, it's really impossible to stay top of mind, all the time, do it on time, right? How do you automate a birthday card, for 500 people? You're just going to get busy. You're going to forget to do it. Or how do you send a handwritten note out once a year thanking them for their loyalty? You can't do that 1,000 times. And we just want to make it easy for them to do that.
Definitely. And the numbers don't lie. To quote some of the stats you sent me, it's, you run into, 300% higher open rate versus print mail. You 7 times ROI versus print mail. CPA is 5 times more expensive versus maintaining current clients. 5% improvement in client retention increases profits 25 to 95%. And upselling happy clients is 75% more successful. A lot of people need that follow up. And then of course, this is probably a great way to encourage referrals from people, and also, maybe to identify problems. If somebody's not happy, they go, hey, I really didn't like the product, or maybe the product didn't work, or maybe they have questions that you can, I know with some of the Amazon sales that but when I buy stuff, they'll follow up with a questionnaire. Hey, were you happy? Can you give us some stars or referral? Is there any questions you have, and can kind of help identify maybe areas where you fell short in the sales process, or maybe the client isn't quite happy, and maybe sometimes it's just an education thing. You have to go, oh, well, you put the thing over that way instead of the other way, and it works better for you, something like that. And the client's like, oh, okay, I was, using it wrong. And so it gives you a chance to identify, problems or issues that the client may have that may keep them from coming back in the future.
Yeah. So you're just giving a bunch of different examples of how to use this. And I think that's one of the cool things about this. Like what happens usually is somebody will request like a sample kit from us, they'll get it. And once they see it, they're like, oh, like that's when their mind's blown. They're like, wow, these aren't printed. These are actually pen written. And then they call us with then that's when their ideas go off. They're like, hey, this is how I want to use it, and then they'll call us and say, hey, can you help us with that follow-up after a bad experience? Or, hey, can you help us with a follow-up, ask for a review? Or, hey, can you help us with reach out to our clients and ask for a referral? So that's what you're just saying. I think you just really explained this type of product perfectly. There's just a handwritten note can be used in so many different ways. It's really just how can it best serve you, and that's what we do is we help you do that.
Definitely. It makes all the difference in the world. So people can buy different credit packs on your website, so they can buy in different bulk sizes to help scale to how many they want. Anywhere from, let's see, 1 to price points break out at different places on the scale, but you can send anywhere from 1 note to 5,000 plus notes that you guys can handle.
Yeah. Our largest orders have been in the hundreds of thousands. Wow. Anybody can go to our website and just send one, So it's a tool that anybody can use. What happens most often is that, somebody will go to our website and just send one and kind of test us out. And then, they'll wait for somebody what happens is that person that they sent it to will send a text message thanking them for the card, or call them like, hey, I got your card, thanks. And they're like, oh my gosh, like actually I didn't send that. Like I use the service, and then they get really excited. But yeah, anybody can use it. It doesn't matter if you send 1 or 100,000 or 5, it doesn't matter. We're really trying to be a platform just to help everybody, send, send real handwritten notes for their relationships.
There you go. And does the card that goes out, the envelope itself, does that look handwritten as well?
It's all handwritten, or it's all pen written. So the envelope's pen written, the card's pen written. It's all personalized. So hi, like first name, we plug in the first name. Real forever stamp. There's no logos, no branding of ours whatsoever. If we're doing our job, which we try to do it really well, the person will never know that you use the service.
That is awesome. That is freaking awesome. I think it's cool. And people can request a sample off your site if they want to see what it looks like in person. They can go ahead and fill out their data there and get a chance to find out more about the service, see it in action. But I love the idea. Like I said, I mean, you saw the example I showed you before. I got a whole pile somewhere. In fact, like birthday cards, it used to be I throw away birthday cards. I'm like, birthday, Christmas, stuff like that. But now it's so rare to get something to say. Someone actually filled it in, where you're just like, wow, that's really personal. That's from that person. It's not something they just hit print and sent.
Some things that you've said during this call, like what you just did, like you went behind your green screen there and grabbed a handwritten note that's still sitting on the desk. Like, what other form of marketing material or sales material is going to get that type of shelf life where it literally sits on your desk? Like, are you going to sit there and screenshot that thank you email that is automated, print it out and put it on your desk? No, you're not. Are you going to screenshot that text, that pointless text message that we know is automated? No, you're not.
Yeah.
So, the shelf life alone is just incredible. Like you said, people save these for weeks, months, sometimes years. They're very sentimental. And like you said earlier, like a 300% engagement rate. Print mail has a 32% open rate. So you might as well just take 7 out of every $10 if you do a print campaign and just throw it in the mail. Like it just doesn't work. So I'm obviously really excited about it. I believe in this more than ever, and I've been doing this for almost 5 years. It's just so different. It's just something, and it's not the only thing anybody should be doing. It's just another tool in the belt. I just think, every business has relationships, and you should reach out to them at least once a year and thank them. Without them, you wouldn't have a business.
That's true. And that personal touch makes all the difference in the world. I wrote in my book, I talked about how after 13 years of setting up my original companies, original clients, for one of our companies, Silver Streak Express, I'd done all the personal work. I'd done all the personal selling and the personal communication for the first few years until I moved to our mortgage company and left it with our partner. But my partner, after 13 years, left. And what was interesting was I called all my original clients up, and they still remember me. They still loved me. They still connected with me. They were still happy to do business with us. It made all the difference having that personal touch. You guys work with Ford, NCAA, Marriott, Fairway, Edward Jones, Ronald McDonald House Charities, Keller Williams, Tesla. It looks like you guys can even print the stationary letterhead, sort of, if you will, the emblem or logo for whoever the company is too as well.
Yeah, we're completely vertically integrated in our warehouse. What that means, everything from start to finish is done here in house. We're not leveraging any outside, corporate printers. Like, that's a problem because that's not efficient. It's more expensive. It takes days, sometimes weeks, to get your stuff back. So, where other print companies start or finish, that's where we start. We have the same $160,000 printing press in our warehouse. The orders come from online to offline. So if you put your order in online, it literally gets sent right to our printing press. Printing press, prints it. We then cut it and score it. Then once we, get done with that, we run it through our handwriting robots. Once they're done with our handwriting robots, we hand quality control it, make sure it looks great. Once it's done with there, person hand stuffs it, seals it, puts a real forever stamp on it, and it gets done. So we really try to just be a one-stop shop, for all, handwritten type of mailing projects. We just try to make it super simple.
There you go. And can people upload a bulk sort of mailing sheet so they can just send you a giant spreadsheet of everything and put in your systems?
Yep, and that's the power of our service. As long as you have a spreadsheet, with names and addresses in it, it's just like mail merge. So you literally can send 10,000 personalized handwritten notes in 3 minutes. You literally go to the website, select your card, take your mailing list, and upload it and check it out. It's that easy. And right now, our current capacities, it just depends. Our current daily capacity is between 10 to 15,000 handwritten notes a day. It just depends on how long the note is, what we're writing, the size of it. So there's a lot of variables that go into it. But, we pride ourselves in being able to do a really good job, with really good writing quality, with the best technology, the fastest production times.
There you go. I think I'm going to make a list of all the enemies and people that I hate and send it out every Christmas like we do, where I mail it out to them. I go, just a reminder, happy holidays. I still hate you and you're still blocked on Facebook. Oh, no, don't do that, people. That's not nice. Don't do that. But no, I love the concept behind the service. And like I say, I'm proof positive of the difference it can make in getting more business from people. And we had a author on recently who talked about the power of getting referrals and the difference in how much that really makes to your business. And getting those referrals, they're like gold when your client refers something to you. And seeing the card come across, usually when I see the handwritten cards, I'm like, oh, I better open this. This is personal. There might be $100 in there or something for my aunt. But, you've got that. What have we touched on the business and how it works that we may haven't touched on so far?
I think we've done a pretty good job covering the backstory, the technology, the handwriting robot, really how we try to help people is either integrate into your CRM or software or payment platform and automate it, or just scale it based off a simple spreadsheet. I think a lot of people kind of jump into the analysis paralysis and try to overthink it. It's really just, as long as you have a spreadsheet, it's super simple. If you have a spreadsheet with names and addresses, this can be the easiest relationship building tool that you'll ever use. The most impactful one too.
Integrates with Shopify, Salesforce, Zoho, MailChimp, HubSpot, Zapier, and other APIs. So you can just plug it in and start pumping these out to the Postal Service, and there you go. It's something that is unique and people don't see anymore. I think that's what makes it so special. Is that doing that? Well, this has been really insightful. It's been great to have you on the show and talk about some of the career. Any parting advice or thoughts before we go?
Like I said earlier, if you are a person who's thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, if you can do it, I recommend doing it. The personal growth that you'll get from it is unlike any other professional thing you ever do in your life. And then also, my background's in sales and marketing and as an athlete. I've started a robotics, software, and industrial automation company. So I have zero reason to be successful in this. The only reason I am successful is because I'm so passionate about it. I have grit through the roof. My heart is on fire about it. I want it to be successful, and I'm making it work. So if you have an idea that you think is, way out of your comfort zone, you just got to take one step at a time. If you take one step at a time, you'll solve one problem at a time. And, 2-3 years down the road, you're going to solve a lot of problems. You're going to be shocked at the growth and how far you've come.
There you go. And I even noticed here on your website, I was flipping around the website, you can maybe include like gift cards like Starbucks or Amazon.
Absolutely. Business cards,
Nice.
inserts, flyers, whatever. Yep.
Oh, so you can put my business card in there. That would be
Absolutely.
awesome too as well. All right. Well, this is awesome. And you've got birthday integration as well, or automation, send cards for birthdays and holidays. That's always good to have because I always forget those. I forgot someone's birthday the other day. So there you go. Well, Rick, thank you very much for coming on the show. Give us your .com, your plug, so that people can find you on the interwebs.
Yep. So it's just simply noted.com, just how it's spelled. S as in Sam, I M as in Mary, PLY, noted.com. Highly suggest just go there. Top right corner, it says request a sample. We'll send you a nice sample kit. We spend about $20 on this kit. So, I mean, we're investing a lot of money to make sure you guys get all the information that you need so we can educate you on the service. And that's completely free, no strings attached. And then if you want to connect on LinkedIn, please do. I'm very active on there, and I'm happy to connect with you and talk to you or help you out or answer any questions.
There you go. Hey, it's been wonderful to have you on the show, Rick. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
There you go. And thanks, Monis, for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss. Go to youtube.com/Chris Voss. See everything we're doing on the Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those crazy places on the internet. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. And we'll see you guys next time.